Hey, welcome to
Doceree Dialogue,
a platform that unites industry leaders
come together and exchange ideas, innovation, and insights.
shaping the future of healthcare marketing. Hello, Ayla. How are you?
Doing really well.
Really well.
Things are going very smoothly, very well.
So for the listeners, please introduce yourself.
So I'm Ayla Ellison. I am the editor-in-chief of Fierce Life Sciences and Healthcare, which includes all of our publications, so Fierce Biotech, Fierce Pharma, and Fierce Healthcare. And I lead our team of 20-something editors and writers who are covering the news and the industries every day, and then involved in events like Fierce Pharma Week.
I'm curious, running events is a big thing anyway, but do you have a whole editorial content strategy around it? Sort of the pre, during, and post stuff that a lot of people try to do?
We do. And a lot of what we do, of course, is it's behind the scenes and it's happening, months and months before the event and then after. So we, at Fierce, we have two podcasts. Our one that's dedicated to life sciences is called The Top Line. And we had the opportunity to bring on several of the individuals who are also involved in this event. We have at Fierce Pharma Week, we have the Rising Stars program, which is geared toward, people who are newer into pharma marketing or, more junior.
Just getting into the industry, that sort of thing.
And so we had, I interviewed a couple of the people who are helping lead that program. And then we've also launched a new Q&A series as well on Fierce Pharma Marketing, which is spotlighting people in their pharma marketing careers 2 to 6 years in. And not only asking them, talking to them about the work they're doing and those things, but also trying to solicit real feedback for those who've been in the industry much longer to try to, bring some fresh voices in. During the event, I believe we have 6 people from the Fierce editorial team here.
Wow.
Running around doing interviews, podcast interviews, covering sessions. I've been up on stage moderating quite a bit, still have a little bit more of that to go. So it's always fun, busy for sure, but it is fun.
I think, overall, it seems that people are clamoring to get back in person. It's been a while, and I think this is the result of that, is if you've got some good content and some good speakers and things, people are starting to return to these kinds of events. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that initially after pandemic shutdown of live events, it was that question of is it going to be more virtual moving forward, or is it smaller events? Like,
Yeah.
what will that look like? And I think that especially this year, we've just seen, not just for this event, but for others that Fierce has as well, and events that I attend, that are put on by other companies. I don't have the specific numbers for those, but it feels big and you can feel the energy. People seem excited to be meeting in person, and whether that is, meetings related to work or sort of the after event networking things, it feels like there's more energy around it.
I think the bigger ones will succeed. I'm seeing, though, that the small ones or some of the niche ones are disappearing because they're not getting enough people coming.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see some of that fallout, perhaps, around the events world.
It'll be interesting to see, because I know that the pandemic is in the rearview mirror now, but still just in the events industry, especially, adjusting to what that new normal will look like for the industry.
I agree. Maybe it's going to be a mixture of do one big one and then little ones along the way. Some are virtual, some are just normal.
And it's
gatherings and
strike that balance too, because
Yeah.
you want content that appeals to everyone, but also it needs to be more niche or specialized too, because people need to feel like they're walking away learning something, connecting with someone that they want to be connected with.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. We'll continue to kind of see how that plays out too.
Do you do editorial planning for a year, or do you do it on a quarterly basis, or how do you figure out? Because I'm assuming all of that led to this event today and some of the things that are being talked about, etc. Like, what's the trend that Do you plan it out for a year or 6 months, or how does it work?
We do. It is 365 days a year
Whatever is open.
for all of our events. So we have a wonderful production team at Fierce, and there's a lot of collaboration between editorial and the production team. So everything from coming up with overarching themes for an event, panel discussion ideas, taglines, speakers we should try to have.
Interesting.
It's a lot of back and forth between us for this event and all of our other Fierce events throughout the year. And I think one of the great things that comes out of that collaboration is a cohesiveness between our digital publications and our events.
Yes.
And it's something we're always trying to even, make stronger every year.
Do you do anything in the clinical trial side? I know that, there's a couple, but nothing, I haven't seen anything specific around clinical trials, R&D and all of medical and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
It's only commercial and market access and PR comms based, right?
it is. This event is a little bit more focused, on the marketing commercialization.
Yeah.
We do have Fierce Biotech Week in October.
Oh, right.
We do a lot of the R&D discussion during that time.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
Terrible branding. Awful. So let's talk a little bit about, what next? You interview so many people, you talk to so many things going on. Are you starting to see any trends we should be aware of over the next sort of 6 months? I mean, apart from the big elephant AI in the room, right? What else are you sort of thinking about, or what are your reporters or journalists seeing or thinking about?
There's so many things
Yeah.
I could say. Obviously, they're just the adjustment with, as you mentioned, just AI and what that looks like. I don't think anyone has any clear answers, and even 5 months from now, what that will look like. But, I think just kind of, looking specifically at pharma marketing, I think one of the things that keeps coming through in interviews, and whether that is with, those who work at big pharma, those on the agency side, others, is this, demand may not be the right word, but almost for authenticity. I think it's something that you can't fake. And I think that within pharmaceutical marketing, specifically in these ad campaigns, it's how do we bring authenticity to those, whether it's through patient voices, to really connect with people, because I think it's bridging that gap between awareness and action.
Yeah.
And so it's, there are so many people of all ages who are consuming media in different ways, whether that's, digital, podcasts,
TikTok, Snapchat,
linear
YouTube,
TV,
linear TV, CTV, all of these things, right?
whatever it is. And so it is trying to figure out, how do we reach the people that we want to reach in the way that they are consuming media, and then at the same time bridging that gap to the next step. So if they are seeing an ad on TV, what is the follow-up? Is it the next step? Is there a QR code? Is there a influencer or celebrity they're working with? You can direct them to their social media post. Is there a checklist online? So whatever that may be, I think it's bringing authenticity to the campaigns to try to, really connect with patients and the intended audience, and then also bridging that gap to the next step and that action step.
I totally agree with you. I think we have so many platforms, Doceree, we have a platform that can connect to anybody, anywhere.
Yeah.
Very focused on healthcare professionals. There are others here I've seen that are very patient-centric, they can connect it. So you sort of, as a marketer, you're going to have to make a decision of what's important for me this time around. And I'm seeing more and more people saying, let's bring the patients to the table. We haven't really heard from them, and we don't see the impact or hear about the impact we have on their lives. Met a chap just now who went through triple bypass. He said, medicine saved me. It's amazing, right? And we don't celebrate that.
No. And it is, at the end of the day, it is these healthcare, pharmaceutical industry, it is the most regulated, complicated industries in the world, especially in the United States. And at the end of the day, it's really, I think most people go into these industries because they really want to help, and they really want people to be healthy or live longer or save lives. whatever that is, but it does get lost along the way.
Yeah.
But I think that by elevating those patient voices and bringing some authenticity back to it, and also at the same time breaking down some stigma depending on,
Yep.
on what we're talking about. But I think that is going to be the future of, where some of this is leading.
And, just a reminder that you do actually have an impact.
Yeah.
The work you're doing, you may be sitting in a booth right now, but you do know somebody somewhere, you've saved their life, right? That's a good thing.
It is. And I think the other part of it is, and of course, people are always quick to share negative experiences more than positive.
Yeah.
So I think, and myself as a journalist, people are always so much more, quick to hit send on something critical, some sort of critical feedback versus something that is positive. But, whether it's a tool that helps a patient schedule an appointment easier, helps them understand their bill, there's so
Or even the medication they're taking and the impact it has, right?
there are so many different areas where even just a slight improvement can make a huge difference in someone's life, especially in those moments where, if you're sick or someone in your family is, or those are the times that there's so much stress anyway. Anything that could take a little bit of that away and help, I think that it has a much bigger impact than probably most of this events sitting in booths things even realize every day.
Yeah. So last thought, what's next for the next year, the 6 months? I know you got the Fierce 50 coming out.
We do.
What's next? What's happening?
And this year has seemed to fly by. We just recently published our Fierce 50 of 2025. And that project is really, it's definitely one of my favorites that we do because, like I said, we have Fierce Healthcare, we have Fierce Biotech, and Fierce Pharma. And this is the only project where our entire editorial team comes together to work on it every year. So, and it is 100% editorial driven. So we select all of the honorees and we get to interview them and share their stories. And I am the person responsible for editing those profiles. And I will say that every day, I would edit 1 or 3 of those profiles. I'm like, I feel inspired. It does. I'm like,
Look at these guys doing amazing work, right?
people doing absolutely amazing things. And there's nothing that brings me more joy than celebrating those individuals. Some of them are, very well-known names and big companies. Others are very much behind the scenes, doing research that has led to hundreds of thousands of lives being saved. So I think that is a special project. And we have the pleasure of having you there at the gala.
I'm looking forward to it, to DJ and hopefully get somebody excited. And happy.
So we're excited about that. I think just for the day-to-day, our team is just kind of adjusting to a new normal that is quite chaotic news cycle. I think every day we wake up, and even when we think that it's going to be a slow day, it never is. There's always some surprises. So it's definitely a time for our team on the editorial side, just trying to keep at the center of what we're doing, who we're writing for, what's important to them, and trying to sort of block out all of the additional noise to try to keep focused on what's most important. And it's something so simple, but it's
hard work
every day.
Hard work. Well, I thank you for doing it. We thank you for doing this. And thank you for joining me for this short podcast. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Excellent.